Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Ron with 41 Trading. We sell militaria, collectibles, antiques, vintage stuff, trading cards, just about anything that's cool and has value. We try to find it, get it to people who want it at a good price. Uh, Staying consistent. It's been 1 week since the last Here's What Sold video, and we're back with another Here's What Sold in the last week. Feels like it was a slower week. I think sales were a little bit lower. I think we were over 700 last week. Things were, I feel, on average a little bit lower priced, but there was a lot more that sold in terms of just quantity of items. Uh, so it was a bit counterintuitive, right? It was slow in terms of dollars, but uh, decent in terms of quantity. One interesting thing you'll see on this map here is this sail to the middle of the Mediterranean, Sardinia, Italy. We'll talk about that in a little bit. 14 items sold total. I don't know what that compares to last week. But anyway, let's just get into it. Pulled out the top things in terms of dollar profit. These were lightly used. I don't know if you can see on the pictures. Open image and new tab. Maybe we can get it bigger. Now, there's some creasing across the toes here. The soles on these were in great condition. A lot of times, at least in my experience, the soles on these things just get chewed up and are just worn down to nothing really quickly. These, might have been used casually around the base or something for drill or marching, what have you. These are vintage 1989 spike protective boots. I think a lot of the like Chinese knockoffs and even just modern Rothko stuff, I don't know if they have the spike protection, which I think is just like a steel plate in the sole to protect you if you step on a punji stick or something. Well, I think that's what they're called back in Vietnam. A booby trap, what have you. Um, so yeah, maybe they just don't make them like that anymore because it's not really a risk that we need to address since Vietnam. I don't know, but yeah, sold it, bought them for $10. Where did I get them from? Missoula Goodwill. Missoula Goodwill is really good on pricing. $10 for boots like this. I think most places that I go where I get boots are usually like 15, $20 for boots. So netted almost $50 on this. Shipping it was pretty decent. What was shipping? Oh, shipping was not decent on that. $17. Yeah, ground advantage is just weird these days. You wouldn't think this would cost over $10 to ship. It was a little bit of a long and wide box, but it was not fat, so the dimensions were not off. They were not weird dimensions, excessive dimensions, but anyway, still netted almost $50, so that was a great pickup. And it was a small size too, which I was a little bit worried about, but it still sold pretty quickly, 2 months. This sold Facebook Marketplace. Obviously, this is a local sale. This thing's like 4 feet long, tall, however you want to look at it. I got 4 of these total. Picked them up for a really good price, $15 a piece. There was no interest in these for weeks and weeks, and then I had like 3 people make inquiries all within a week. I think one guy might still be pending, but then one kind of just flaked out. I'm really glad I didn't sell these cheap. Somebody wanted to pick them up for like 35 a piece, all 4 of them, but I was like, no, if I just hold on to this and space is not an issue right now, I can hold on to it. Somebody's going to come along that wants one of these. So these were, are, right? These are still used, right, for storing ammo on the Abrams tank. I believe the main tank gun is a 120 millimeter bullet, shell, whatever. So these hold one of those. They're about 6.5, 7 inches internal diameter. They're watertight, supposedly. So A lot of times people use these for ammo caches, survival caches out in the woods, stuff like that. Assorted HO tracks. So this came from Blue Jay estate sale that was in Dillon, where I picked up a ton of HO scale model train stuff. This is probably the last of it. It's the last of the track for sure. There's a few other little items, background scenery type things, vehicles and trucks and stuff like that. But another one of those sold today or this week as well. This was just a mix of stuff. It was all a mix of code 83 and code 100. That code being the, what would you say, how thick the rail is. 83 hundredths of an inch versus 1/100th of an inch. And but it was all steel, nickel, not steel, nickel silver. And, was able to get 40 bucks for it, which was pretty cool. Local sale, Facebook Marketplace, this split to this piece, so with the split, what do they call it? The Y split, I guess. Would have been a bit difficult to ship. I just want to get rid of the whole thing, get rid of it cheap. This was an odd thing I found at Goodwill. I sort of felt like it might be a quality item just by the feel of it. I don't know who manufactured it, but it's branded Linus Tech tips. And people buy these for 50 bucks. Why? I don't know. I'm not sure if I could understand if it was maybe manufactured by like North Face or Nike or something. Somebody who has a reputation for quality, and they go out and say, hey, we'll do all your corporate branded products for you. As far as I can tell, this is not by anybody, and I have no idea why anybody would be so compelled to be a brand ambassador for Linus Tech Tips. But I'm only aware of the name. I don't really, don't watch it. So just my ignorance, I guess. But when I looked it up, I was like, oh, these go for 50 bucks. Cool. I'll flip that. This, I was getting worried wasn't going to sell. Retail price, $120. Picked it up for 10 bucks at Super Thrift. It's a seersucker, so it was great for summer. And as summer is sort of coming to a close here, I was really trying to get it sold. Sent out a lot of offers on it, and finally sold it for full price. Right, listed. No, took an offer. I mean, that's a decent offer. $8 off, fine. Basically, the guy, got most of his shipping for free. That's fine. I had plenty of margin in it, so I'm rather get it sold for a little bit of a discount than have it sit here until next summer, Sold this locally on Facebook as well. I got 2 of these, $8 a piece. It's not as good of an item as I thought it would be in terms of resale, but I eventually found a buyer on Facebook Marketplace who willing to throw 40 bucks at it, and I got one other that I'm still trying to get rid of, but the one has paid for both of them already with a little bit of profit, so that's nice. Probably would not do this kind of buy again, just because of the size, the difficulty packaging it and shipping it. This is a named seabag, vintage, probably 1960s. I actually know exactly. It was probably 1950s or 60s. I knew exactly the date because I knew when this guy served. I don't recall. He actually served twice, so he was enlisted, and then I believe he went back after his education as an officer, and ended up. Oh well, no, this is ensign. So where did I get this? This might have been his dad's. No, his dad wasn't in the Navy. Anyway, vintage seabag, 50s or 60s. Took a little bit of time to sell, but let's see, listed for $49.99. Took an offer on it. I got it cheap enough to where still decent profit on it. This is really cool, old 90s stuff. It was a little bit more difficult to ship than I thought because I started just having worries and second thoughts about, I need to protect the edges. My original plan was just to slide it into between two pieces of flat cardboard and tape the edges up and ship it off, but I took a little more care, wrapped it up in bubble wrap and extra bubble wrap around the corners. And so buyer paid $7.17 shipping. It cost me $18.17 to ship it, so over twice as much to ship as I had planned on. But I still made a decent profit on it, almost 25 bucks. It sold pretty quick. It's kind of amazing how quickly stuff is selling. I probably do have stuff that's been sitting around for 5, 6, 7, 8 months, and I just don't think of it because, well, it's not selling. But eventually, I'm probably going to start seeing stuff that's like, wow, I've had that for 8 months, a year. But until then, it's nice to see stuff selling quickly. And this actually has like a hidden dolphin in there. This, I forget what it's called. I think it's like a stereogram or something. But if you have glasses that, I don't know how it works, but these 3D type glasses will reveal the image of the dolphin. So pretty cool piece. I was surprised when I looked it up, but you see old stuff like this, vintage stuff, quirky stuff that has that 90s aesthetic. Anything that really has a particular decade's aesthetic to it is kind of just, I find, worth picking it up and checking it out and seeing if people want it, because people like nostalgia. So this was an interesting flip. I think there's a couple magic cards on here, but I was using a tool that allowed me to screen for stuff that was mispriced, and I picked this up for 11 bucks. It's a $40 card, and so I sold it for 40 bucks, and saved a bunch on shipping because I'm just gonna try sending this stuff first class. I trust that people are going to be honest. I'm probably not doing enough volume to sort of let the fraudsters wash out, right? If you ship 100 things and one person says, oh, hey, I didn't get this, and they're lying, right? Maybe you lose 40 bucks on that card, right? Well, if you had paid 5, 6, 7 bucks to send those 100 packages via Ground Advantage rather than first class mail, well, you would spend an extra $500, which is far in excess of the loss you're going to take on somebody lying. So, but if you're just doing singles here and there, it might burn a little bit if somebody does do that. I'm also using, though, I believe it's informed divisibility is what they call it at the USPS, where it provides a code above the recipient's address, and as the letters get scanned through the machinery, they read that code and can provide some idea of where something is in the system. So it's pseudo tracking, I'd say. And you can also purchase insurance. I don't remember who's underwriting it, but I think I did pay for insurance for this. So it was an extra 30 or 40 cents on top of that, which is probably worth it, right? Right? If you send out 100 cards, it's say it's 50 cents, right? Then you're paying 50 bucks to insure, not just against somebody lying, but against USPS actually losing your mail. That might be worth it if you're selling 30, 40, $50 cards. It wouldn't take too much for that to pay for itself. Sold this on Manipool. I guess that's one thing to call out. I don't sell much there, but the tool that I'm using, tcgtracking.com, I guess, if anybody's wondering, it sort of allows you to manage inventory across multiple systems, and I figured I'd try Manipool. So gosh, now that I think about it, I need to go check and make sure that that was all uploaded and marked shipped correctly on Manipool. Anyway, another situation, same thing. It was mispriced. I picked it up, flipped it. Yeah, it's just money. This is part of that Blue Jay estate sale from Dylan. It's just one of the last things that I'm selling off. I think I got another tractor or two, maybe a blank truck body. And this is from the bulk military surplus buy. These are all really poor condition. Some are missing the metal straps for the shoulder. The metal, it's not a metal strap, it's the metal D-ring on the sides that allow the shoulder strap to attach to this. No Alice clips on these, frayed and holes and patches and repairs all over them. Somebody bought all four. Uh, it kind of stings a little bit because there's so little dollar profit in it, but you know, it's just amortizing that purchase at this point, and hopefully we get to a profitable position on it. Just doing stuff like this, the fact that there's a buyer for this stuff at all is kind of amazing. So that is encouraging, I guess. I shouldn't probably be so down about the dollar profit on it. Uh, a lot of things in this poor condition, I kind of expected that it was going to be a long, slow, low profit dollar process, but it's going probably better than expected at this point, right? For this to sell in 2 weeks, all four of them in just beat to hell condition, is pretty good. So that's everything that sold this week. Almost got it to a 15-minute video. So next time, maybe we'll do even better. All right. Thanks for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment. Check out my store. See you next week. So one last thing. Almost forgot about this. I started the video talking about shipping something to Sardinia, and it didn't make my list because there was so little profit in it, which is, I forget why that was my mistake. Well, we'll just get into it here, right? So this sold to Sardinia. It was going to a military base, so I would have just thrown this in a bag and shipped it off, but because it's going internationally, I wanted to add a little more protection, so put it in a box. Going from a bag to a box increased the cost $5, which ate up almost all of the profit. The reason for that is because the box took it from under a pound to over a pound in weight. I don't really know that there's a way to combat that unless you just want to choose not to sell to AFO, APOs, I think they're called, overseas military bases. You know, I think it's probably worth it because not everything is going to be such a low margin thing. There's probably going to be things where, oh, I can sell this jacket or what have you for 50, 60 bucks. And that extra $5 of shipping is not going to ruin the flip, the sale, right? I mean, this is basically, I was working for free, right? But you know, it does get me more comfortable as well doing the AFO, APO. It's kind of intimidating when you think about it because you have to have import forms, but eBay really does it all. The most difficult thing is just finding the correct tariff code. I don't know why it's tariffed because it's like it's going to a US location. It's being delivered by USPS, but you got to fill out a tariff code thing. And it's the tariff code system is I don't know. It just you look at it and you're like, why does it need to be this specific? Like you have okay, category for sweater, and then you have all these subcategories. Like, well, if it's a knit sweater with more than 25% leather components, that's another subcategory. And then there's a subcategory for if it's women's, for if it's men's, for if it's children's, for if it's other. And it's just all of these tiny little variations and breakdowns and categorization of things. and it's searchable by text. You can type in sweater, but then there's 100 results for sweater, or then you have to think about, was this a sweater? Is it a long sleeve shirt? Uh, you know, that's just kind of a pain in the butt. But I'm sure the more you do it, the more you kind of know, and you can always ask AI for help, which is what I ended up doing because I didn't realize searching for sweater or fleece was going to be so complicated. Um, and then as far as what you do is you just go down to the post office, you get some little plastic self-adhesive bags, and instead of printing off a self-adhesive label, you just print off a piece of paper, cut it down to size to fit into the plastic bag, slap it in the bag, slap the bag on the box, and send it off. So yeah, getting more comfortable doing that stuff, and this was kind of just a learning process and a piece to help set expectations for, do I want to continue doing AFO, APO stuff? And I think the answer is yes. Next time the process is going to be a lot smoother. So sorry, I forgot about this, and it's just kind of tacked on, and it's just making the video longer. But yeah, thanks for watching.